silenced after. Okay. How's everybody doing? Facebook. I was trying to give some people enough time home before I want to share some things. Just on this Saturday, some things I wanted to share with my Facebook community. I don't know how much involvement that you might have with current events that's happening. I don't know if you are a person that's politically affiliated and stand up on current events regarding politics. I don't know how much in your faith, if you're a person that's inspired by faith or belief. I don't know where you at in those areas of spirituality and questions that you may have in all those circumstances too. Uh, I like to be spiritually informed. I like to be politically informed about things that's happening in our culture, in America, and countries abroad. that's concerned with issues. And you're looking for answers. I think we all looking for some type of answers, some type of solutions. I think a lot of people are just being overwhelmed with a lot of things that they're seeing is taking place in their society. Some unprecedented things that are taking place right now. I don't think we could ever imagine that we will probably find ourselves in situations like this regarding this system that's supposed to bring some kind of destabilization in our lives, to our country. And we've seen a lot of those things are being disrupted. I mean, that's what we're seeing. We've seen a lot of disruption going on, a lot of chaos going on, a lot of uncertainty. So I think a lot of us feel like, we're in this situation with a lot of uncertainty that's happening. Provide some basic answers to some of those things. It may not answer every situation that we're going through, but if we can get some kind of biblical understanding about what's happening, can give us some kind of biblical guidelines, I think those is a good place to start. I feel like a biblical understanding about circumstances that we're dealing with can help. Can kind of help. While we go through this process that we're going through. But anyway, I just like to just start by sharing a point from the Bible to try to address some of these situations that we're dealing with. And I was studying, just being inspired by the word, because I'm looking for some answers, to bring some kind of sanity, even with me, the questions I got. So there was a scripture in the Bible that I could glean from, and this gives some kind of perceptions here to what's happening, because I think we all looking for some type of answer to what's going on. Let me start. Let me start with a chapter and a verse that's going to be coming from John chapter 6. Now, if you can bear with me for a couple of minutes, I know people got a lot of things they're trying to do on Saturday evening. They want to relax. Get into the social environment and things like that on Saturday. But let me entertain your thoughts for a second here with a biblical text that's going to try to bring some kind of answers to a lot of the stuff that we're seeing going on right now. Because I believe there's a vacuum in leadership. And I think leadership is one of the most important things we kind of need in our lives right now. We need some kind of leadership to give direction. We need a leadership to bring some kind of stability. So I think that is what we want. We want to understand there is stability around us, that we can feel confident about. Because I think a lot of people lose confidence about a lot of things in their lives right now. Let me get to this chapter right quick. There's a scripture in John chapter 6. And it's bringing out a scenario. It's kind of playing out a certain way that we kind of look at the comparisons right now, that we can build some kind of relevance from a past generation what they was kind of experiencing then. So let me relate this thought right here. John chapter 6, verse 14. Let me read that. It says, when the people saw the signs, that he had done. This is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world. Now, there's a lot of significance here that because it's looking at it's giving us a historical context here of something that's relevant to what people experience in this present reality and they present experience right here. So I'm going to bring out the significance of that and show us a parallel of what's happening, what's going on. Listen to this again. When the people saw the signs, because now we see that the significance of a sign here and what people are observing. That's what we're doing. We're observing a lot of the signs, the things that's happening around us. We're discerning things now. There's some things that's obvious, and we are concerned about what we are seeing in our society, right? So let me go back and look at this again. Let's look at this. This I'm going to try to draw some comparison here. Because these people in that generation was observing something that was taking place. They were observing the signs. Signs are very important. Signs we need to understand. It's like the Messiah made a statement about the signs of the times. So I think we need to be observant and understand when we're dealing with signs. Signs, discerning the signs of the time. That's the statement that Messiah made when he came to Jerusalem. And I think here, that's where we at. That's where he's at now in Jerusalem, dealing with situations, communicating about issues. So these people understood that. They discerned. I think our discerning need to be so sharp right now. Discerning is so, we have to be discerning. Your discernment has to be sharp now. So we can get an understanding about what's going on, and then probably what's going to take place. You know, so I think that is why we need to be informed about political situations. We need to be informed about spiritual issues as well. Let me get back to this text. This is very important because it's going to reveal some things, give us some insight. The mind, what they was dealing with in their generation. He said, when the people saw the signs that he had done, they said, this is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world. Let's look at significance now. Because now they're calling this man a prophet, someone that is to come into the world. So that's significant in itself. When you're talking about individuals that we need to be discerning individuals. Now we have to be discerning people now when we have to deal with circumstances and situations that we're concerned about dealing with this administration and what their purpose is. Because we see a lot of things now that's happening with this administration. It has an agenda. So I just want to show the parallels with that when you're talking about someone that you are discerning here and the significance of that individual that these people was looking for, because they were discerning the times. Discerning the times. That is what's so important now. We have to be people that discern the times that we're living in. Discern individuals. We got to discern individuals now. Because now they're discerning this man, Christ, as the prophet that is to come. I like this word. To come, it said, into the world. Into the world. They were discerning something to come. So look, you're looking at a people that's being prepared for something. That's what I like about this situation here. Here you have a group of people out in the community, because this is where the Messiah was. Christ was in the community, addressing situations that these people saw. When he's talking about signs, they saw certain signs about this man, or a demonstration of some things that he was doing when he had the attention of these groups of people that was observing him. I like this thing here. I like this word. When they understood something about somebody that was prophetic, and I mean prophetic, and prophetic category is something that has been announced. Because when the man arrived, we know the scriptures talks about where's it, Isaiah chapter 9, when it talks about a child shall be born and a son shall be given and the government will be upon his shoulders. See, you have a group of people discerning the time, discerning when this man came on the scene. When some people recognize him as a prophet, somebody that prophetically was spoken about. So now you have a group of people that when the time had came, when they saw this individual and what he demonstrated and what he talked about, and what he preached about, and what he inspired about. So these people were ready. When he came on the scene, they acknowledged something about this man. That's why preparation is so important. Preparation is so important now when you get to the point about spirituality or Christianity or a type of faith or belief that you may have that prophetically spoke about current events, discerning the times when these events appear. So now you have a man that's out there communicating and talking. Then the perception of these people, they perceive something. That's what's so important. Because it demonstrates something that you were being prepared for. Then when it showed up, you acknowledged it. So sad when the Messiah made a statement about Jerusalem, he came, and then he told them how didn't discern the time or the season. Your time, discern the time and the season. Then he pronounced to that community of people that now those things are going to be hid from the eyes. It's going to be hid. So we don't want to be caught in situations like that. That's why we've been prepared. So then when we see these signs, we see these individuals or these prophetic individuals now that's coming on the scene to try to give some kind of direction and understanding and some type of enlightenment to what we are seeing now in our present and the agendas about society or the agendas about institutions and our governments. See, they're on assignment. So this election here, this institution here, or these people, they're on their assignment. So we discerning what's going on. We're seeing it unfolding before our eyes. The things they're implementing. Yeah. Parents. So now, let's go back to this. Let's go back to what the people that were observing their situation and what was going on in their generation, the changes. Because you had administration there too. You had a system that was going on there that was bringing what? Change. From a certain customs and certain standards of their generation and their community was established on and what they were used to. So now they've seen a change of institutions that came there. Remember the question when Peter brought up to the Messiah about when? Well, they knew he was a leader, an activist. So let's compare the words here to get a better understanding about when you see about people being leaders, being civil activists. As a prophet, he was a prophet, but he was a civil activist, but he was dealing with the situation in that time, in that generation, dealing with relevant situations, trying to get direction to abuse, government abuse, civil abuse, injustice to a group of people that are being marginalized. He addressed those issues. That's why when these people saw him communicating in the street, having a revolution, bringing people together, that was revolution. So we can't even discern a revolution right now. When a revolutionary leader shows up on the scene and begin to speak and communicate about injustice, time our spiritual leaders, teachers, and pastors lost themselves about what ministry is, what ministry needs to be addressing. Messiah was addressing those issues. You got a group of people that respond. Let me go back to this verse. I got about 10 more minutes. Just want to briefly talk about the subject here. Let me go back to 14 again. He said, when the people saw the sign had done, they said, this is indeed the prophet. All right, prophets. We got to get back to the message. Get back to the message here. Because we see what the Messiah was doing here. As a civil activist, he was dealing with the social and the political issues that people was experiencing. Now, let me read this again. They said, this indeed, the prophet who is to come into the world. Come into the world. The world needs change. The world needs change. We need then and what we need now. So that's why I'm trying to draw a comparison here. The significance of you. What was prophesied over you. The significance of that. We as believers here, people of faith, we're looking for prophetic individuals that's coming into the world, or you coming into your purpose, your understanding about why you are here. These people understood something about him because your perception is so important about individuals. They come on the scene or come into the world, come into life, period. You hear this world for a specific reason, to contribute something, to give some type of direction, some type of soul to the world. That's what these people saw in the community. So very important. Listen to this. He said, when the people saw the signs that he had done, they said, this is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world. Perceiving then that they were about to come and take him by force to make him a king, Jesus withdrew in to the mountain by himself. I like this because it says a lot right here. Even the Messiah even Christ, the civil activist. I'm going to put it in the context of what he actually was doing. A civil activist dealing with the social issues that oppress people. He was dealing with government oppression by the Roman institution. That was government oppression there. Now he was dealing also with the spiritual climate of spiritual abuse, because you had a religious organization there, but abusing them at the same time. So you had this religious institution that was a league with Rome, institution of seizure, that was oppressing the community of people. That was the climate that they had then. And we have that same scenario and that same climate now. We have a lot of mega preachers. Mega preachers. That means people that are in alignment with this Trump administration. So you have the same scenario here. You have the same picture that's playing out that was playing out then. Government corruption. Spiritual corruption. Religious corruption. These two institutions that was oppressing the people because they was in a league with one another. So you have the Messiah that was prophesied to come in the midst of all of that, to try to bring some kind of unification of these two institutions that was corrupt and needed to be reformed. Government reform, religious reform. Now, when you deal with that, you come to one conclusion. You come to one conclusion of what both of these systems need. In a culture, in a community that was corrupt by these two institutions of leadership that failed. So now they all need to be revived. So now here you have a man, a prophet that was sent to try to bring some unity now to all this disruption. So let me get back to that. Let me read that again. It said, verse 15, perceiving then that they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, Jesus withdrew himself to the mountain by himself. See, mountain always, when he went to a mountain, you already know what the Messiah went to the mountain for. What? To pray, to get counsel, to get information. Because now these people understood, they know now the importance of who he and what he represents. Reform. That's what he represented. Reform. And the people perceive that. We're in a generation now, you got to perceive what reform is and what stability is all about, and what division is about, to disrupt. You have to accept perceiving what's right now before you get involved and start participating in certain things. It's not going to bring unity and stability and civility. It's not going to produce that. Especially people of faith and people that believe. Because these people was waiting for something to bring back stability. So Peter went to the Messiah and said, Lord, when are you going to restore the kingdom? It's all about restoration and restoring the kingdom. Restoration. Restoring the nation. That's what it's about. And then these leaders having the vision to restore, to revive. That kind of vision. So when these people had that, I mean, they knew he had that. And that's why they came in multitudes to listen to what he had to say and address the issues. Because they wanted to put him somewhere. that he could bring positive change. It's not like they want him out there in the wilderness turning the bread and fish, multiplying the bread and the fish, and walking on water, raising the dead, casting out demons. That ain't what they came there for him to do. Not this, they want him to have a diversity to deal with issues like that. But they came to him about one thing: change. We need you in the government system to bring change. That's what they came to him for. Because you got all this wisdom, all these abilities. That's what all the signs was. He demonstrated signs so people could put confidence and faith in him, his ability to bring change on all levels of life. But he made the statement about why he come to Jerusalem. Because he was the original king. That's why the Bible, they knew something about the scripture. When it talks about a son shall be born. A child shall be born, a son shall be given. And the government upon his shoulders. And the government should be upon his shoulders. That's what these people were waiting for. It was waiting. Sometimes we observing the wrong thing. There's being people of faith. We're being distracted by a lot of stuff, religious stuff, of leaders. They have a different institution about what this thing is. And then we're that being becoming a part of that. Dysfunction. Uncomfortability. Because why? It's not producing any kind of change in our society. But these people understood, look, man, you need to bring, the way you're going to bring social change, you need to be in some power. To have political power. To change laws and regulations. See, they knew what the real change, what basically overall change could take. So if you're having any influence in these areas of change, it can be counterproductive. I said counterproductive. I didn't say unproductive. I said counterproductive. From an overall solution of change. So you got to be people now. You can't be following anything and listening to anybody. That's what the text is here. So you had a group of people that knew where you need to be. And whatever they knew where he needed to be at. They perceived his ability to influence and bring change. These are the kind of people that got behind him. Then when he realized that, see, that's what you ministers need to understand. Have the ability that you need to have when it comes down to people bringing change and hope. Then you need to go to the mountain like he did to pray and get what you need. Because you got people out here in this world got needs. They need answers. They need direction. So if you can't fulfill that, and Christ that too, too much is given. Too much as people give to you, the more they will demand of you. Like these people, they say, look, we know you can bring change here. So we coming to support you. We're going to put you in office where you can bring change. So when people have that kind of perception of you, have what they you have to get the results. It's time out for games now. It's time out. It's time out for this game. It's time out for the religious facade. All this stuff is being exposed now. It's being exposed. And you got to do like Christ did. When these people came to him, they felt like you the one. And when they came to him, he realized that. He felt that pressure. And then he went to the mountain. I got to pray. Because these people got answers. They need answers. So if you're not the type of leader to provide those answers for people, then you in the wrong place. You in the wrong place. I'm going to finish that with that because I don't want to take too much time on it, but I'm going to pick this up again and elaborate on this again because it's a good subject. People need to be informed. People need to be inspired. You don't need to waste time. A lot of people don't have vision or no wisdom to guide and give direction. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. But unproductive, don't. It's not worth it. So whoever was whoever tuned in, and if people that watch the play on this right here, this could be real inspiration and motivational for you to what to look for when you give your time and your money and your attention to something. Real positive change to your community, to the world abroad. That's what you want to be a part of. This is about revolution now. The revolution place. And you don't want to be left behind. All right. Get ready to do it for this social act, this social Saturday. Hey, have a great time and enjoy yourself.